Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I pray that you are in the middle of a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful getting up and that all is well with you. As we're about to read today, we have made it to Genesis 23, verse 23. And if you'll join me in reading today, we're going to cover the story of Sarah's death and burial. And there's a few topics here that I think could be really impactful to ponder, think about, meditate, whatever you choose to do with it. Um, but some things to think on. I think uh, every step that we've been so far has given us some things to think on through the day. And of course, today's topic is uh, definitely one. I think it will lead us in coming days to have, discussions about grief and things like that. But today we're going to cover the technicalities. If you've ever had to make preparations for someone who passed away, today's story will resonate with you on how, you want to make sure you do the right things and have the right things in place. I think a lot of times we get overwhelmed many times with those kind of preparations, and they become almost because it's difficult. You're trying to make good decisions at a time when you're emotionally vulnerable and things, may not necessarily be playing out the way that you want to. And especially for many, having not made preparation. And so it's important in all aspects that we live this life understanding that we don't get to live on this side forever. It is very possible that your loved ones will have to care for you, and so you will want to. This is just a side conversation, side commercial. You want to do all that you can to make sure that your family is as prepared as possible. But that's not relevant to what we're reading today. What we're reading today is about the passing of matriarch who we've had a few days of reading about this woman, and she's the woman who it was promised that Abraham's son, who would go on to who would go on to be born, that she was the one that this child would be born through. She had given over her handmaid to Abraham to birth a son, but Scripture said, "Nah, we're." Father said, "No, there is a son that I'm going to send. That promised son is going to come through you and your wife. It's going to come through that lawful covenant, not the one that you all made, but the one that I made, and so the one that I've purposed, rather. And let's go. So we're going to go ahead and get started reading, and as we go, if there's some things that I think might be key to think about, ponder on, look back at as you go throughout your day. Please feel free. If you see something that I don't mention, the comment section is a good place for that. If you're looking at these later and you don't enjoy having, Facebook open to watch a full, 15-minute video, you can also slide over to our YouTube page if you choose. I don't even go over there right now just because I'm just practicing and just developing to a place. Once I get there, we'll be pushing that page more. But this may be for those who can have YouTube playing in the background while they're driving, and you just don't want to sit on social media, Facebook social media for that time period. Or maybe if you're at work and you can't have Facebook open, you can slide over to YouTube to watch. But Genesis 23:1 says, Sarah lived 127 years. This is the length of the life of Sarah. And if you remember, she was 90 years old when her son was born. So he's had the benefit of a mom for 37 years. And if you'll notice today, we're reading from the Amplified Bible. You'll also notice today we're not using our slides. I will be back to those tomorrow, but we were just having some technical difficulties this morning. So we're just going to read it directly from the software that I use, eSword. I love it because it has, it allows me to house my, different versions of the scriptures. And so generally I'm reading from King James. I've decided for some of the detail heavy, name heavy, extremely narrative parts of the scriptures. Will probably use amplified for that, just so we're not lost in the conversation. We don't get lost in the details. And as much as I love the beauty of the King James language, I don't want it to come between, uh, understanding and being able to follow the details of the story that we're going through. And so we see here when I was reading it in the King James this morning, it's like she was 107 and 20. And it's like, yeah, let's not waste time on trying to calculate. Let's just read where it's going to be plain. So Sarah's lived 127 years. This was the length of life of Sarah. So remember, she was 90 years old when she was born. So the son, Isaac, at this point, he's probably about, 37? And so, but then we see here in verse 2, Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, that is in Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abram went to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. All of these names are important because remember, these are lands that have been promised to his seed. And so the moves that he makes is really important because of those inheritance promises that are made. And the way that he handles this situation is so wise. I want you to really be paying attention as we go forward. So then it says, then Abraham stood up before his dead wife's body and spoke to the sons of Heth, these Hittites, saying, and we're going to see them again later. So it's important how you handle relationships. It's important how you pass through life because there are going to be people who you will encounter them once, and guess what? You're going to encounter them again. And how you handled those conversations, how you handled the steps of that relationship is going to be important as you journey through life. So we're going to see these Hittites again, not just today. And he says, I am a stranger and a sojourner. Remember, we talked about previously, we don't start to see conversation around adoption until New Covenant conversations. In the Old Testament, you could be a stranger, you could be a sojourner. Ger and dear Lord, I can't think of the other word right now. But you could be those things, and come in under the covenant. But in the new covenant under Christ is where we start to see conversations around adoption. And so here, you're a resident alien among you. Give or sell me property for a burial place among you, so that I may bury my dead in the proper manner. The Hittites replied to Abraham, listen to us, my Lord. You already know the fix is in when the pretty words start flowing. You are a prince of El, a mighty prince is what they were saying among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our graves. None of us will refuse you his grave or hinder you from burying your dead wife. So Abraham stood up and bowed to the people of the land, the Hittites. And Abraham said to them, if you are willing to grant my dead a proper burial, listen to me and plead with Ephron, the son of Zohar, for me, so that he may sell me the cave of Machpelah, which he owns. It is at the end of his field. Let him give it to me here in your presence for the full price as a burial site, which I may keep forever among you. And that is really key right there. That additional explanation there, given in italics in the brackets, which I may keep forever among you, because what you purchase belongs to you. What you lend me still belongs to the other person, but what I purchased belongs to me. So here he is making sure that no one else has claim to this land where he's about to bury his wife. And that's really key. It says, now Ephron was present there among the sons of Heth. So within the hearing of all the sons of Heth and all who were entering the gate of his city, Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham, saying, no, my Lord, hear me. I give you the entire field, and I also give you the cave that is in it. In the presence of the men of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead there. Then Abraham bowed down before the people of the land, and he said to Ephron in the presence of the people of the land, if you will only please listen to me and accept my offer, I will give you the price of the field. Accept it from me, and I will bury my dead there. See, I don't want to have to deal with your word. And I know these other people are here to stand as witness, but I don't want to have to deal with your word. If we have fully conducted business and this land belongs to me, that keeps me from having to, because we've seen that happen before where he was granted to use land, and then there became a dispute between him and the men of the land over the wells. And so here we're making sure that one, the Lord said it belongs to me anyway, but I don't have to go in like that. I can go in and fully purchase what belongs to me so that there is no disputing over this land. And it's going to be key because we're going to see this land again. We're going to see this burial place again. Like I told you, it's important how you walk through life. The people you see once, you will see them again. That's why it's always wise to not burn bridges. It's wise not to take advantage of in every way that you possibly can, because you're going to see those people again. Like life is very circular. But here's the key. He knows that in order to establish some things, I need to own this land, not be using it just because you said it's okay. Because what happens if your sons want it back? What happens if your sons' sons want it back? How do we make sure that there's no dispute over this land where I'm about to lay my wife? Uh-uh. Abraham as we've seen him in this way before. When they were at war with the kings, Chedorlaomer. Remember that story? He said, "You know what? You take these spoils from this war. Just give me my nephew who I came to get, and the men that are with me. Maybe you can be a blessing to them. But what you're not going to be able to say is that you made me rich, that you made me wealthy. The Lord has blessed me, and because He's blessed me, I don't have to rely on you to gift me something. I can actually give you what this land is worth, so that it belongs to me." And then let's keep going. So we can move on. Now, Ephraim was present there among the sons of Heth, so within the hearing of all the sons of Heth and all who were entering the gate of his city. Ephraim the Hittite answered Abraham, saying, "No, my lord, hear me. I give you the entire field, and I also give you the cave that's in it. In the presence of the men of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead there." And Abraham bowed down before the people of the land. He said to Ephraim, in the presence of the people of the land, "If you will only please listen to me and accept my offer, I will give you the price of the field. Accept it from me, and I will bury my dead there." And then, too, if you think about it, there's also um, the thing of self determination versus because I'm sojourning with you, because I'm just here with you, living amongst you. I'm not submitting myself to you. I'm here as your equal. I'm here. I'm here as a man of means as well, and so I appreciate the gift. But let's do something permanent. Let's have a contract to it. Let's settle. Let's have a settling price on this land. And Ephraim replied to Abraham, "My lord, listen to me. The land you seek is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? So bury your dead." So it doesn't mean anything, but this is what it's going to cost you. Interesting, huh? So Abraham listened to Ephraim and agreed to his terms. And he weighed out for Ephraim the amount of silver which he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weights current among the merchants. And so, using his evaluation, so that you're not even able to say, "I cheated you out of the land. I'm going to give you fair price for what it is that this land is worth, so that there's no disputing the claim to this land." So the field of Ephron in Machpelah, if you were to look into the meaning of that place, it's double. We'll talk about that, which was to the east of Mamre in Hebron. So these are cities and names that you're going to hear again as the descendants of Abraham are journeying through the land. And when they get back here to the land that was in the hand of the Canaanites, in the hand of the Hittites, as they're journeying through to their promise. At a later time in these scriptures, all of these names are going to come back up. Definitely Hebron, the field and the cave which was in it, and all the trees that were in the field and all its borders around it were deeded over legally. So this land belongs to me. I'm not just living here. I'm not just hanging out. I'm not just killing time, but I'm actually growing and developing into something here, and I'm establishing something. After this, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife, in the cave of the field of Machpelah to the east of Mamre, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. The field and the cave in it were deeded over to Abraham by the Hittites as a permanent possession. and burial place. And so I just want to, that's the end. Genesis 23. It's a key piece of scripture for the purpose of history, marking land ownership, giving us an insight into what it means to come into covenant and contract and make sure that in life we're establishing things, that we're not walking through life with these makeshift agreements with people, but really establishing and understanding what is our relationship one to another. What is this that we're doing? If we're in relationships, sometimes it can, the relationship can be rocky because we're not quite sure, like, what is this that we're doing? What, I see people trapped in long-term dating relationships because there's never a conversation to sit and establish, like, what are we doing here? What is the purpose of this coming together that we have? Are we moving forward or are we stuck in a rut? Are we building something or are we just killing time? And so today I want you to be wise about how you use your time. I want to encourage you to be extremely wise about how you're using your time, the things that you're investing into. Are you investing in something that's growing? Are you investing in something that's maturing? Are you investing in something that's permanent? Or are you wasting time? You don't have time to just be killing time. I've always believed it's arrogant to procrastinate and put things off because you're assuming that you're going to have time that you may not necessarily have. And so with today, what are you establishing today? What are you moving forward? What are you progressing in today? Um, so maybe today's a word of tie up loose ends. I know today I've got a lot of business to deal with. And so today is a day that for me to tie up some loose ends. But what is today for you to solidify? What is today for you to establish and make sure that you take ownership of the process, that you're not just passing through your life and allowing people to dictate the narrative versus you establishing yourself and you taking ownership of the things that the Lord has blessed you with. And instead of allowing life to just happen to you, start living the life that the Father has called for you to live, being who He called you to be, walking in the purposes that He's giving you, fulfilling the passions that He's placed in your heart, walking in purpose. And as He said, establishing. The Lord's already promised this land to him, but He doesn't go in just lording over the people. He goes in, but He also doesn't go in and submit Himself to these Hittites and Canaanites. The Lord has promised him great things, and so He doesn't have to go in and submit Himself to a lesser system. But what He does is He goes in and He makes certain, He solidifies for the future. He solidifies a foundation for His children. And this is going to be a wild swing and twist that I'm about to make, but here we might as well go since we're here. Have you established a firm faith foundation for your family? This conversation is about land that we read today. This conversation is about a place for him to bury his dead. I want to talk to you about establishing a firm faith foundation for your family. Are they able to watch you following the Lord? Are they able to watch you being faithful to the Lord? Are they able to watch your life and the seed that you're sowing? Is it building a foundation for your children to be established on? Are you raising them up in the way that they should go when they're old? They won't depart from it. Are you showing them how to live a life that pleases the Lord? What is it that you're pouring in? Many times, because we felt so treated in one way, which we sort of overdo and go into an overkill for our kids. Well, unfortunately, the foundation that you're establishing for them may not be a sure foundation. But if you remember back in the day, grandmas and moms kept us in church. Grandmas and aunties showed us prayer. They showed us the way of faith. And I want to encourage you to do the same for yours. I want to encourage you to allow them to see you living a life that pleases the Lord. Are you showing them how to read their Bibles, showing them how to study, showing them about faithful fellowship, showing them about living in integrity, building that firm foundation, but no firmer foundation built anywhere than on Christ. Can they follow you as you follow Christ? Are you giving them that good part that you got? Are you teaching them the ways of the God that you serve? Are you allowing them to, well, just find it on their own? We were given the job of stewarding our children to a place. We were given the responsibility to raise them up the way that they should go, teach them, raising them up in the fear and admonition of the Lord. As what the scriptures say, not a oh be afraid of him, but reverence fear. Teaching our children to fear the Lord. I know I was sitting around somewhere, I was outside, just enjoying the weather one day, and there were some young men playing basketball out front. And so the sounds of summer, what you hear, what you see. And what was really interesting to me was at some point, the young the young men that were out there playing, I mean, they are cussing up a storm. And there was a time, when there was respect for, elders, older people in the community, adults. But we're living in a world where that respect for maturity, that respect for age, that respect for wisdom, or just the respect for, what, that's an adult. I don't know whether they're respectable or not, but that's an adult. And you don't do all that you can as a kid in front of an adult. But the world has changed in such a way that um, the elders are actually receiving a lot of disrespect. Some of that may be in how we're walking and living, but some of it is just simply there's not that respect of authority and age, because they realize it's possible for you to be older but not necessarily worthy of respect in their eyes. And so just a few things to think about today. But above all, I want you to be thinking about establishing that firm foundation for your family, not just letting life happen to you, but you getting yourself into a position where you're able to say, this is what the Lord has blessed me with. This is what the Lord has given us. This is our foundation. This is our place that we are established. This is where we are going to be, not allowing people to gift you things that they could change their minds about, but really getting firmly established in your life to have what it is that that the Lord has blessed you to be able to have. So we have finished today's reading on the death and burial of Sarah. Chit chatted about a few things to be thinking about as you go through the day, or be contemplating in prayer. Father, where am I to be established? Am I to be just moving all the time like a nomad? Or is it time for me to be established in a place? And this place is interesting because he's purchasing the land where his descendants will live freely in time to come. We'll get there. Hang in there with us as we're continuing to read. And again, some of these things that we've talked about today: Machpelah, that place that means double, Mamre, the vibrant land, the Hittites. We're going to see them again later. Uh, Apparently, a people who were unpleasant from the very beginning. We're going to see those things. Of course, we're not done talking about Abraham, even though our girl Sarah has gone on to her eternal rest. And then we're going to get back into stories about Isaac tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to see Isaac and Rebecca. So prayerfully, all of our faculties are restored. And we'll be back with our slides tomorrow, hopefully. What's going on, Pastor Demetrius? Good to see you this morning. So I entreat you to join us tomorrow morning. We're going to pick up at Genesis 24, where we'll be reading about Isaac and Rebecca. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.